Good morning, champions. It is a beautiful New England December morning. It's quite cold. We got cold weather coming on the way. Looking forward to it. Today's anecdote on resilience and persistence comes from the world of fiction. You probably don't know this, but I'm a huge fan of Tolkien's work, and namely The Lord of the Rings. It's a great story. I'm going to focus today on one of my favorite passages from the book is the Battle of Pelennor Fields. If you don't know much about Lord of the Rings, essentially it's a large epic struggle between good and evil. And at this point, the capital city of man, Minas Tirith, has been besieged by orcs. And there's a huge army of evil around the city, and they're barely holding on. The steward of the city, the guy in charge, he's gone crazy. He's despaired. He's given up. The White Wizard Gandalf is trying to rally the troops, trying to maintain morale, but morale is super low. At this point, the bad guys killed a lot of soldiers outside, and a terrible thing they've been doing, they've been hurling the heads of the dead soldiers into the city. Morale is low, and they're waiting for help. There's a king, King Theoden. He's old. He feels that his last waning days. He feels that his strength has left him. He feels that he cannot live up to his ancestors. And him and his army are the last hope for the city. So he's riding into battle, and I'm going to read to you guys the passage from the book that leads to this. After a while, the king led his men somewhere eastward to come between the fires of the siege and the outer fields. Still they were on challenge, and still Theoden gave no signal. At last he halted once again. The city was now nearer. The smell of burning was in the air, and the very shadow of death. The horses were uneasy, but the king sat upon Snowmane, his horse, motionless, gazing upon the agony of Minas Tirith, as if stricken suddenly by anguish or by dread. Imagine you're riding up, you're going to save these people, and you see that the city is on fire, surrounded by bad guys, and you and your army are their last hope. He seemed to shrink down, cowed by age. Merry himself felt as if a great weight of horror and doubt had settled on him. His heart beat slowly. Time seemed poised in uncertainty. Just feel the weight, feel the hopelessness in the air. They were too late. Too late was worse than never. Perhaps Theoden will quail, bow his old head, turn, slink away to high in the hills. He could very easily give up. He said, let's just run away, forget Minas Tirith, run with our lives, and live our days. Then, suddenly, Merry felt it at last. Beyond doubt, a change. Wind was in his face. Light was glimmering. Far, far away in the south, the clouds could be dimly seen as remotely gray shapes, rolling up, drifting. Morning lay before them. At the same time, there was a flash, as if lightning had sprung from the earth beneath the city. For a searing second, it stood dazzling off in black and white, its topmost tower like a glittering needle. And then as the darkness closed again, there came rolling over the fields a great boom. At that moment, the bent shape of the king sprang suddenly erect. Tall and proud he seemed again, and rising his stirrups he cried in a loud voice, more clear than there had been heard a mortal voice before. Arise! Arise, riders of Theoden! Fell deeds awake fire and slaughter. Spear shall be shaken, shield be splintered. A sword day, a red day, ere the sun rises. Ride now, ride to Gondor. With that, he seized a great horn from Gulfstaff, his barn bearer, and he blew such a blast that it burst asunder. And straightway all the horns in the house were lifted up in music, and the blowing of the horns of Rohan in that hour was like a storm upon the plain and the thunder in the mountains. Ride now, ride to Gondor. I really love this passage because we go hopelessness, dread, give it up, loss. You make the choice, and all of a sudden, somehow, Theoden finds the strength in him to rally his men and ride. Suddenly the king cried to Snowmane, and the horse sprang away. Behind him his banner blew in the wind. white horse upon a field of green, but he outpaced it. Remember, this is an old man riding in front of all the young men in his army. After him thundered the knights of his house, but he was ever before them. Eomer rode there, the white horse still himself floating into speed. On the front of the first Eored roared like a breaker, foaming to the shore, but Theoden could not be overtaken. Fey he seemed, or the battle fury of his fathers, like a new fire in his veins. Warriors, I want you to think about that word, fire in your veins. You have fire in your veins. You just have to find it. This is probably not going to be the last video I do on this passage or on this book. Great inspirations come to us from many sources. Fiction is a great one. I'll talk more about Tolkien at some other point. He lived through a lot. This man fought in World War I, lost all his friends in World War I, faced a lot of tragedy. Warriors, don't give up. Have the fire in your veins. Excelsior!